Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle Ali Murati. I'm the marketing manager for Cablecast Community Media. And today we're here to talk to you about the new release of Cablecast 6.5, which will be coming out later this month. And this new release is all about upgrading the VOD experience for both viewers and for you at your station to be able to track engagement with your online viewers. So that said, there is also, if later on you want to share just the highlights of this release with folks, there is a page on our website that gives an overview of the features in this release just briefly, and there's a video with that as well. If you're wanting to give someone just the 2-minute overview. Jerry says thanks in advance for the recording. He has to leave. All right, Jerry, thanks for hopping on. And yeah, we'll give you that recording. That'll be going out tomorrow afternoon. All right, it is officially 3 minutes after 2 o'clock here in New York. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Nick to start the presentation.
Thanks, Michelle. Hello, everyone. I'm Nick Brandt with the Cablecast Support Department. I'm really excited to be sharing with you the new features of Cablecast 6.5, which will help you engage your audience better, and it'll give your audience a little bit better online viewing experience. Let me show you how. So we have 3 main features in this new release. The first one is adaptive bitrate for all VODs. That's right. Your video on demand files in Cablecast 6.5 will now have an adaptive bitrate. This means that Cablecast creates multiple versions of each video on demand and then chooses the right one for your viewer's bandwidth. It also means that you can now have high definition content, and your high definition content will be viewable in high definition. The next thing that we did in this release was VOD view counts in reporting. So I know everyone's been asking this, and it's finally here. That's right. You can now get your VOD view counts in reports and have them in the same types of graphs that you have in your current reporting. And Cablecast 6.5 just added that to the current reporting features. I'll show more about that in a few minutes. And then the third feature is Google Analytics integration for the public site, which means you can now make a Google Analytics account and then integrate that directly into the public site so that Google Analytics can scrape statistics from your site. Statistics such as who's viewing what page, how long they're viewing it for, and so on and so forth. All right, so without further ado, let's take a look at all these features. So the first one we're going to talk about is adaptive bitrate. So in Cablecast 6.5, under the Settings, Location Settings tab, in the I/O tab of Location Settings in your Video on Demand settings here, you'll now see a completely different user interface for video on demand, including at the top here this max resolution. What this allows you to do is select one of 4 resolutions or keep it in that auto mode. This feature is designed so that we detect the resolution of the video as it came in, and then in auto mode, we then give you as many adaptive bit rates as we can, depending on the size of the resolution of the original video. What do I mean by that? If you put in a 480i video into Video on Demand, you will get a resolution of 480 and 360. Okay, but conversely, if you put in a 1080i file, you'll get a 1080i version of that, a 720 version of that, a 480 version of that, and a 360 version of that. And then based on your viewer's bandwidth at the time, the viewer will get the highest bandwidth they can use. The max resolution setting is here for those of you who have lower bandwidth concerns. So if you have less bandwidth, if you only have a Comcast business class and it's only so large, the max resolution will allow you to set the total max resolution to 480p, because you don't want to have, a 1080p file streaming out of your out of your bandwidth. This will be important for people who have low bandwidth connections or people who do not have Reflect and might not be able to support multiple streams at those higher resolutions. It also means, I don't have a picture of this right now, but it also means that the way VODs are stored in your VOD server is a little different. Each VOD has a folder, and that folder has multiple copies of each VOD in it. But I am happy to say that Reflect works exactly the same way. It is only improved by the fact that now the customer can watch it in the highest resolution you allow. Okay, that's basically that entire feature. So again, based on the original resolution of your file that you put in, we'll give you as many adaptive bit rates up to 1080p as you will allow. Okay, that's the first feature. The second feature I wanted to go over real quick is video on demand statistics. And that we can see over here in this tab. So what we've added to your tools reporting feature is we've added this new breakdown called VOD views. So if I view this report, I can now see all the videos with VOD and then the total number of cumulative views that video has had since we started tracking video on demand views. That's cumulative views. You cannot break it down at this time by month or anything like that. This is cumulative views since that was starting to be tracked. And so there's multiple ways that this works. It shows you statistics at the top like total views of all the shows, average views per VOD, and then the number of VODs with views. All of this data is exported in the CSV file. And also, if we go back here real quick, those of you who use the CSV reports to get more granular data will be excited to hear that if I edit this report, if you use the totals view, that gives you every show, you will see VOD counts in the CSV file when you export the CSV of the totals report. Just to go over that real quick, for those who may not know that exists, the CSV files are a great way to get granular data. So if I select total report here and then hit view report, you don't see a whole lot of data here, but when you export this CSV file, you'll get all the data we report on, now including VOD views. All right. And then the final thing that I wanted to show here was the Google Analytics. And I know this is a pretty quick webinar for everybody, but I'm excited to take questions if I missed something pertaining to this that you need to hear. Basically, just real quick on the Google Analytics, if I go back to my settings, system settings, channels, and I select the channel, inside the public site settings, where we have the new tabs that have been available since 6.4, you'll now see a metrics tab where you can put in your existing or new Google Analytics ID. The Google Analytics, if you're not familiar with it, it's a way to track viewership and the time a viewer has viewed and the location of the viewer and a whole lot of other data. In the coming weeks, we'll be putting out some knowledge base articles and things like that that explain how to use Google Analytics in this case to your advantage. There'll be ways to do that. And let me just show you real quick what some of those analytics look like. Okay, so you've got this type of website data that comes from Google Analytics. Those of you who use Google Analytics for your current like non-Cablecast public site should be able to use the same account or a subset of that account for your public site, and it'll track the views, it'll track location, and a whole lot of other really cool information. That's basically it for the features of 6.5. So once again, just to go over it again, adaptive bitrate, including HD video for your videos on demand, new statistics in the reports for number of cumulative views, and then the ability to add Google Analytics directly through the user interface.
But we are very excited to share this with you, and I know some of you were asking about ACM Northeast, so if you are going to be in Schenectady this week, yes, please do stop by and see us. We will be able to demo a lot of the new stuff we've been working on this year. Really, Cablecast has had a lot of major feature releases this year, and we're excited to be able to show them, including the Screen Weave app that a lot of people have been asking about here. So if you're not familiar with what that is, or you haven't seen it yet in action, you can come see it live there. We'll be able to demo it for you. We do have a lot of customers on it now with great looking channels. I'm working on getting all of our customers that want it on there. We look forward to seeing those of you who will be in Schenectady on Thursday, and also do feel free to reach out to us with any additional questions at sales@cablecast.tv. Thank you all for joining us. Have a good afternoon.